In this podcast episode, Dr. Jordan Peterson speaks with Dr. Gad Saad, a professor of marketing at Concordia University in Montreal, about the perplexing phenomenon of why intelligent individuals often cling to erroneous beliefs despite overwhelming evidence to the contrary. The discussion delves into various aspects of human nature, cognitive dissonance, and the implications of these behaviors in contemporary society. Dr. Saad opens the conversation by reflecting on his extensive study of human behavior, particularly the surprising tendency of people to resist changing their minds even when faced with compelling evidence that contradicts their beliefs. He notes that this phenomenon is not merely a matter of ignorance, rather, it often stems from a deep-seated psychological need to maintain one's identity and worldview. This willful blindness, as he describes it, can be likened to the metaphor of an ostrich burying its head in the sand. People often prefer to ignore uncomfortable truths rather than confront them. The discussion transitions into the concept of cognitive dissonance, a psychological theory pioneered by Leon Festinger. Dr. Saad explains that when individuals are confronted with information that contradicts their beliefs, they experience a state of mental discomfort. To alleviate this discomfort, they may double down on their original beliefs rather than reassess them. This reaction can lead to a reinforcement of erroneous ideas, making it increasingly difficult for individuals to accept alternative viewpoints. Dr. Saad emphasizes that this tendency is particularly pronounced in academic and intellectual circles, where individuals may feel compelled to defend their positions against contrary evidence. The conversation highlights the irony that, in attempting to persuade others of the truth, one may inadvertently solidify their opponent's beliefs. A significant portion of the podcast is dedicated to Dr. Saad's concept of the parasitic mind, which he elaborates on in his book of the same name. He draws parallels between biological parasitism and the spread of harmful ideas within society. Just as parasites exploit their hosts for survival, certain ideologies can infiltrate institutions and undermine the foundational principles that support rational discourse and inquiry. Dr. Saad argues that the rise of woke ideologies in academia exemplifies this parasitic behavior. He describes how these ideas often prioritize emotional appeal over empirical evidence, leading to a culture that stifles critical thinking and open debate. The conversation touches on the implications of this trend for the future of education and intellectual freedom. Throughout the discussion, Dr. Saad applies an evolutionary psychology lens to understand human behavior. He posits that many of our cognitive biases and social behaviors have deep evolutionary roots. For instance, the instinct to conform to group beliefs can be traced back to survival mechanisms that favored social cohesion in early human societies. This evolutionary perspective provides a framework for understanding why individuals may resist changing their beliefs, even in the face of compelling evidence. Dr. Saad also discusses the evolutionary basis of sex, suggesting that sexual reproduction evolved as a strategy to combat parasitism. By mixing genetic material, organisms can create offspring that are less susceptible to parasites, thereby enhancing their chances of survival. This idea serves as a metaphor for the importance of diversity in thought and the dangers of ideological homogeneity. The conversation takes a philosophical turn as Dr. Peterson and Dr. Saad explore the concept of sacrifice in relation to personal growth and societal progress. Dr. Saad argues that meaningful change often requires individuals to sacrifice their comfort and preconceived notions. He draws on biblical narratives, particularly the story of Abraham, to illustrate the idea that true growth comes from embracing challenges and stepping outside one's comfort zone. This theme of sacrifice resonates with the broader discussion of conscientiousness and its role in achieving long-term success. Dr. Saad emphasizes that the willingness to delay gratification and make sacrifices for the future is a hallmark of successful individuals. This principle applies not only to personal development, but also to the health of society as a whole. As the conversation progresses, Dr. Saad reflects on his experiences within academia, particularly at Concordia University, which he describes as a left-wing hellhole. He discusses the challenges he has faced in promoting rational discourse and empirical inquiry in an environment increasingly dominated by ideological conformity. The discussion highlights the tension between academic freedom and the pressures to conform to prevailing social narratives. Dr. Saad's critique of contemporary academia underscores the importance of preserving the integrity of educational institutions. He argues that universities should be bastions of critical thought and open debate, rather than echo chambers for ideological conformity.